And if I were to add one thing that I missed in the top 5, Vaseline, man.
You've been around the game forever from a camp perspective, and you see kids that are prepared and ready to go from minute one from registration. You see parents and goalkeepers that are underprepared. Top 5 things that goalkeepers should bring to camp.
Yeah. Multiple pairs of gloves. Because if it rains one night, if you got muddy perhaps one day, whatever, but certainly multiple pairs of gloves would be a must. With that, many pairs of socks. We can talk about a lot of gear, and we will, but you don't want to wake up after a 2, 4, or 6 hour day to be putting on wet socks to go back into your boots that you're just not going to feel comfortable in. And if you don't feel comfortable, your whole body's not going to feel comfortable. You're not going to feel comfortable moving. You're going to develop blisters. It's just going to be a problem for you as the week unfolds. Any sort of compression wear. I love me some Sterelli. Anything you have, fantastic. But something underneath that's going to protect. It can be even full-length tights, in particular on the bottom, but something that's going to protect, whether it be prevention from strawberries or help you get across the ground, or nicks across the knee. If you're on turf, that's hugely important. If you're on turf, to have something that's going to cover the hips, the elbows, and the knees. That is massively important. If you're it's a simple thing here, but sunscreen wherever it is that you go. If you don't have it, someone else I hope will, but that's going to be something that's going to again allow you to be comfortable playing as opposed to uncomfortable playing. But those 4 I think are massively important. But at the end of the day, the last thing I would say is just your overall kit, whatever it is that you feel like you can perform in. And you had mentioned, I've seen it all, and I've seen kids walk into a hotel with their gloves on, yet it's going to be 3 hours before we're on the field. And I've seen kids walk in with guards over their socks, and I've seen kids walk in dressed in khakis and ready to go hours later, obviously. But whatever they're going to feel comfortable performing in. So, if that's a kit that you shopped at Keeper Stop for and you feel comfortable in it, that's what you wear. And maybe 2 or 3 of those would honestly be good for you, because you don't want to spend downtime in a camp environment. If we're talking that specific, you don't want to spend downtime doing laundry. You want to spend downtime resting, perhaps hanging out with your buddies, your newfound buddies.
And it's tough to ask a 10-year-old that's attending goalkeeper camp, their first residential camp, to do laundry when they've never done it before.
Exactly.
It's 100%. Gloves, most important. And I would agree with you. Socks, I love the socks mentioned, because, I remember going to camp and you put your socks on a fan because you didn't bring enough socks, or you put your dirty drawers up on a fan so that, you can get some of the sweat out of, them. So it's important to have those things. And it's not only from a protection standpoint, but it's also just from a cleanliness standpoint. You sweat a lot. You don't want things rubbing and smelling and whatever else. It's
right.
Just so immensely important. And whether you buy it from Keeper Stop or not, I'm a goalkeeper coach and a human first. I'd love for you to buy Sterelli or whoever from Keeper Stop, but the reality is we want to see that you're protected as well as comfortable. And for me, gloves, socks, padded compression on the hips, those are the top 3. Then you can go with other compression wear. I mean, if you're doing breakaway training for 3 hours to learn the before, during, and after save or some other saves, you're going to lose half of your arm. I don't care what type of field it is. It's rubbing, right? And the other thing that I'll say, and I'm sure you'll expand upon this, is a notebook. I think it's just as important. You need a notebook. Yeah. And, that's what we use. I mean, that's crucial, because that's what we use as our eval. And the goalkeepers are in charge of writing in that, and then we meet with them in the evening. So that's hugely important.
And if I were to add one thing that I missed in the top 5, Vaseline, man, put some Vaseline on your heels, put some Vaseline maybe just a little bit under an elbow pad, put some Vaseline on your hips, maybe even over the compression, side of your knees. That will help a ton. It is certainly, especially on turf, but even on grass, it will help a ton with any sort of abrasions, and it'll keep you in the game longer. Big tub of Vaseline.